Welcome to another episode on Football Dialogue. I'm excited to review this game week. It was a super game week. It was the kind of game week that we expected, and again, it's a bank holiday weekend. It was a beautiful weekend as well, and a sunny Monday. Everywhere looks beautiful today. So let's get started like we always do. So yeah, I'll be starting with the Friday game between Chelsea and West Ham. We went away to West Ham in the Olympic Stadium, and it wasn't the best of start, anyways. Having Cole Palmer to be replaced by Estevao after he had a niggle. I think it was a precaution, like they've said, because we haven't had any news about the injury. So I believe it's something that it's not that serious. So hopefully he's going to be back in the next game or two. So, but however, we went on with the game. Estevao came in. He had a good game, like we expected. Young boy, ready for football. He's just too good. Estevao is a very good player, but there are still a lot of things that he needs to work on. And I think when he's done working on those things, his decision making sometimes in the 18 area can be very, very, very bad because sometimes you just need to shoot the ball. You don't need to take too many touches again. But as a Brazilian, a samba boy, sometimes all those kind of things are expected. They love to romance the ball a lot of the times. Yeah. So yeah, we'll allow that. We'll allow him to continue to build, and then when he gets the right tempo in the league, he's going to be chaos for everyone that is going to be playing against us. He's going to prove to be a menace. So, yep, that's for Esteval. And looking at the game overall, it was a good game for Chelsea and a very poor game from West Ham as expected. They had a rush, they had a good start where they got a goal, and then obviously after getting that goal, the goal was a great finish from Paqueta. But I still think Sanchez should have done better in his positioning, but sometimes all those kind of shot early in the game, you never really expect that because you're still even trying to stabilize, try to see how your opposition is going to play, try to see where in the game you're going to exploit. But that wasn't the case, so it was a straight start to getting goals in the game, and they got their goal early in the game, and we had to respond, and our response was tough. It was a hard response, replying one goal with five. Um, Chelsea, you guys need to calm down. Never calm down. Never calm down. Bring that goals. This is something that we've been missing since the Ancelotti season, where we scored 103 goals. Yep, in 38 games. Yeah, so I can't wait to see that kind of season again. But however, we did not do well in the Champions League. So I believe this season we could have a good run in the Premier League by bagging the title and still have a good run in the Champions League by winning it too as well. It's very possible. We've got the squad, but the only downside is the manager. Still, that's where my question mark still stays on the manager. I hope to see that Maresca can change. He can use this season to change because we've got the best squad in the league. I think I believe we have the best squad because the profile of players that we've got, the youthfulness of the players, the energy that they've got, the will to grow, the will to establish themselves as a superstar. I can see that in the player. And then adding Willie Issa to help them build the mentality, the right mentality for them to be successful. We have that too as well. So Chelsea, the expectation is for us to back titles this season. If we cannot win both of the Premier and the Champions League, I guess we could stay with one. Preferably, I don't know, anyone is preferable for me because it's been a long time we won the Premier League and Champions League. There's never a bad time to win to be champions of Europe. When you're the champions of Europe, you you have access to even winning more trophies. Like the Super Cup and stuff. Yeah. So unlike the Premier League where you play Community Shield, some people refer to that as a trophy, but I don't. Anyways, so Yep, the good game and analyzing the game. Porter is not a great manager, like I said. Even if they weren't playing three at the back, I said if he stuck to playing three at the back, just like Crystal Palace did, we'll still exploit them because he hasn't got the right structure in the team yet. And Porter is a manager that was struggling. He doesn't know how to set up the attack to score goals. So, and you can see that they find it difficult to score goals. But they had so many chances to get some goals back after we had mesmerized them by scoring 4 or 5 goals. And they had chances from set pieces to get goals. I don't know how they couldn't bury that in the game. But we got lucky, to be fair, not to concede more than one goal because I expected us to have conceded more with the way that we set up to defend those set pieces. But I hope that's something Maresca is going to look at and they are going to work on in training to see how they can be um, more stiff in getting opposition players to get their head on the ball in doing set pieces. So if we play us now, that would have been a different story. They would have scored a couple of those goals that West Ham missed for doing their corner kicks. Yeah. So for Chelsea, good game, good goals from the boys. Joao Pedro, always expected for him to strengthen our attack in the way in their dynamism. And you could see that in taking so many operating in so many areas in our attacking um, in the attacking phase, and you could see that that's something that a player of his intelligence, a player of his caliber, would be able to execute. So good game from Joao Pedro. Good game for Esteval. He's still raw. He's going to get better. Pedro Neto, fantastic player. I love that guy. He's good. He helps us in the defensive phase and as well as in the attacking phase. The only thing that he still needs to work on is his decision making to at times. Sometimes he stays with the ball on the wing for too long by faking shots over and over again. But when we have a striker in Dilap and he's been able to get into the team, understand each and every of the players in our attack. I think all those crosses that Neto usually give in, Dilap will be the one to attack them, as well as Joao Pedro. Joao Pedro too can attack all of those crosses. But in the game against West Ham, we didn't see him play in the number 9 role due to the different style that Maresca put up, which I encouraged. I loved to see that Pedro and Dilap playing in the attack and Cole Palmer behind while Pedro Neto operates on the other flank. And we had Fernandez and Caicedo in the pivot, but I think we could get more from Fernandez. I think Fernandez is a very good player. Very good player. It's just that the setup is not the best for him. He's a deep line playmaker. And if you have him control games for you, he's going to give it to you 100%. But him being a box crasher, him being doing box to box and trying to pick any role on the pitch is not something that I think is ideal for the kind of person that he is. He's not built for that. He hasn't got pace. He hasn't got that much energy to be able to just move around the pitch to exploit spaces, that the opposition have left. But for Fernandez, I think that's what we are going to be expecting from him because that's how the manager wants him to play anyways. That's why I feel like if there is a bidding for him, I think we should cash in because there are so many other midfielders that can do what he's doing currently much better than he does. So yeah, that's it for Enzo Fernandez. And our defense is good. The only question mark I still have on my team is just Maresca as well as the goalkeeper. If we see any goalkeeper that is available in the market, I think who is better than Sanchez, I think we should go for it because goalkeepers are very crucial in the team. They win the titles. I just hope this season, if we don't get a goal in, Sanchez is not the reason why we are going to fall short because that was very obvious from the start. But I don't know why they are not looking into strengthening that position, that area of the pitch. But it is what it is. We'll see how the season goes, and hopefully Sanchez can improve. He can be better, and like he did for us in the Club World Cup, saving us from conceding goals in the final against PSG. it was a good game for him. But it's the consistency that matters. It's him being able to play the role like we expect him to play, coming from helping us to build from the back. Sometimes he makes some passes, some from from himself down to the attack, which turns out to be good. But oftentimes, when you see him shoot the ball, it's either going to the throw in or just like going elsewhere. So it's that consistency that isn't there yet, and that's where he's lacking. But handling the ball, saving the ball, Sanchez is not a bad goalkeeper. He's good in doing that. However, we need somebody who can give the defense that confidence that no ball is going to pass. Someone like someone with Donnarumma's profile. If we can get Donnarumma right now, I don't mind. I still see a need for us to get a goalie. So, yep, that's that for Chelsea. West Ham will always struggle. Like I said, they don't have a good manager. In Graham Potter is one of the worst manager in the league. Himself, Amorim, and maybe this Brentford manager. I don't know where they got the guy from. It doesn't seem like it's somebody that is going to know what he's doing. I don't know how they managed to win the game against Aston Villa, but we'll get to that. So next one, we'll be talking about Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur, a game that I never expected from Spurs, a game that I really never expected from Spurs. I thought it's going to be a game that will seal them not orchestrate so many attacks. But that wasn't the case. You could see them orchestrating some gameplay that is going to lead to them potentially getting goals against City. And they played with so much confidence. They played like the Tottenham Hotspur that we never knew. But like I said in the previous episode when I previewed the game, I said anytime Tottenham Hotspur face Manchester City, it's always a tough game. It's always a game that they usually get results from anytime they face the big boys in the league. So, but I never see them winning the game because they are under a new manager, and it seems like they've adapted to Thomas Frank's system so well. And Tottenham is going to cause a whole lot of headache, even after losing Eze in the market. I thought it's something that is going to dampen the mood in in their squad, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's either um, Spurs have become so sturdy and they've become so tough to crack, or Manchester City are worse than what they were last season. Because like I saw in the first game when they played against Wolves, I know Wolves is not a good side because of they lost key players, and then they are likely going to struggle this season. But seeing um, Pep Guardiola allow those attacking players that he's brought in to express themselves, being more flexible to his approach of the game. And but I think he allowed that in the game to an extent too as well. But we did not see what we saw against Wolverhampton, and that's why you cannot really base your judgment on just a single game, especially when they are playing against a side that they will ideally always get a win against. So now we've seen them come against Spurs and they fell short. So it's something that is going to raise question marks from the fans against Pep Guardiola and the spending that they've done in the last two transfer windows, because it doesn't seem like anything is going to be working now that they've lost the likes of KDB, who is a master in chance creation. So who are they going to get that from now is the question that they're going to ask. Mamosh is not looking to be better than what he was in the Bundesliga, and that's why this Bundesliga tax is for real, man. It's becoming for real. Florian Wirtz, Marmoush, Ekitike soon for sure. They will see how bad it's going to be, and we are going to be signing Xavi Simons. That's why I don't really want that deal to happen. To be fair, I don't want Xavi Simons at Chelsea because I don't trust this Bundesliga player. And Tottenham Hotspur, Man City. Going back to that, um, like I said, I still need to watch a couple of games more to see how Man City are going to respond to this defeat that they've had against Tottenham Hotspur, and then let's say after they've played 5 games, I can be able to tell what their season is going to look like. But from now, new players in their system, I want to see the adjustments that Pep Guardiola is going to make and what to expect from the pattern of play of their pattern of play. You know, because this league is going to be tough. We've got quality managers in this league, and we are going to see tactical moves during the game. It's going to be like chess. So we'll see. So Thomas Frank, good results. Set up his team. Always a pragmatic manager. He knows what to do anytime he faces every opposition. But now that he has get hold of Tottenham Hotspur, who are a much better side than Brentford, you're going to expect Spurs not to fall short this season. They are going to be much, much better than last season. But now that they're in the Champions League, it might hamper their status in the Premier League because playing 2 games in the weekend with the squad that they've got, the depth is not really there, and they've got a couple of players that are prone to injury too as well. So that's the only thing that is going to make them draw back in the league. So that's why I'll still keep them in the place that I've placed them in the league because I factored that in when I predicted the position that they will finish in, which was seventh, and it still remains seventh. So yeah, good game from Spurs, good results. I think they're in first or second place position on the log. Yeah, so good game from Tottenham Hotspur, and hopefully, let's see how they will continue this form in the league. So next one, Bournemouth Wolves. I expected Bournemouth to beat Wolves, but it seemed like it was even a tighter game than I thought. Bournemouth they struggled to an extent even when Wolves got a red card. They were still not able to put Wolves to the sword. They still had to struggle to even manage to get away with the 1-0 win. But I still know Anthony Raola will continue to cook at Bournemouth, even though he hasn't got star players in his team. But the way that he plays, everyone fits in well. So I expect more from them. This game against Wolves might just be an anomaly, but in the subsequent games, I think they'll be able to grind better results. However, this is a great result from them after losing the first game against Liverpool. So 3 points, anyhow you get the 3 points, it doesn't matter. 3 points is what matters. So next one, so Wolves. Let me talk about Wolves. Wolves, like I said, they are going to be battling. Um, they'll be battling against relegation this season. Um, yeah, that's what I expect from Wolverhampton. They'll be battling against relegation this season if they don't do something in the transfer market. But now there's not a lot of players that they can sign to improve their team. They have to go somewhere that I don't know, like they usually do. Let's see who they can bring into the team to help them be better. But Wolves this season might be the season that you relegate. Yeah. So next on the list, Brentford, Aston Villa, a game that I never expected Brentford to run away with the 3 points against Unai Emery. Aston Villa played better, much better than Brentford. It's just that the finishing was not good enough. They ought to finish better. They've got the striker in Oli Watkins, but they struggle to finish. So I really do not know what Emery needs to do now because his hand is tied. I don't think there's while they should be bringing in players, they are selling players. They've lost Leon Bailey to Roma, and this is a club that is going to be playing Europa League, so they might even finish much lower than I thought they would. I obviously they were going to be outside the top 10, but now we're talking of mid in the bottom half of the table. Talking of them finishing in the mid part, in the mid area of the bottom half. So it's going to be a crisis for Aston Villa this season if they don't act in the next days before the transfer window closes. So Brentford, they got their result, 3 points. 3 points is very crucial in the league this season for the smaller teams. Very crucial because we have a couple of teams that will be battling against relegation. In Brentford, Wolves, Leeds, West Ham, Burnley. Those are teams that I know are going to be battling for against relegation this season. So if any of them get 3 points, doesn't matter. It's crucial for them this season. So good one for Brentford. I don't see them going far. They don't have an experienced manager. It's a manager that this is the first time he's managing a club. So I don't know how they come up with the decision to replace Thomas Frank with someone who is not known to have done anything. But that's how football is nowadays. People always go for the young guns and people that they think can do something. Maybe in the future, I'm going to have an opportunity too, like that. You can never tell. Maybe one day I'll be managing a football club. I just need to go and get my certificates now. In the future, the next 10 years, that's my 10 years goals. My goal for 10 years, I'll most likely get into the football, either as a coach or maybe as a sporting director. Watch me. So, yep. Next one, Burnley versus Sunderland. Oh, a result that I never expected. I expected Sunderland to at least get a draw from the game, but these are two sides that know each other so well. So the result can swing, and which it did swing to Burnley's favor. They are playing their first game at home in the Prem for a while, so good result from Burnley. They have good defense for the kind of team that they have, and like I said, Scott Parker, this Burnley as a football club fits in so well. He's a good manager. He's an okay manager for Burnley. Yeah, he's going to do well with Burnley. I'd seal them battling against relegation and succeeding. To be fair, I see Burnley succeeding against in the relegation battle because they have a good goalie in Dubravka. They have good goalkeeper to an extent. They have kept some players that they had in the championship that understand Scott Parker, and there's a particular way that they play. They will most likely beat the smaller teams in the league if they continue to play like they do. They'll beat the smaller teams in the league, and beating the smaller teams in the league is what matters. So when you play against the big boys, at least, or the mid-table teams, you can just get a draw or get a win once in from a couple of them, and then you are outside of the relegation. So that's what I believe Burnley will achieve this season if they keep playing the way that they do. And yep, so 2-0, good result for Burnley against Sunderland. Sunderland, I think they need to respond back in the next game. They've got the squad. I don't know much about the manager, the quality of manager that they've got, but I know they've signed great players in the squad. They have good players, and I think they are going to get going in the league, yeah, and they'll be right up there, definitely in the top half of the table, like I've always said. So next one on the list, Arsenal Leeds. Leeds, they I watched them play like I expected that they should, and obviously Arsenal annihilated them as expected. You can't go to the Emirates, a team that are playing their first game in the season, a team that finished second 3 successive seasons, and then you just go and play against them like that because who are you? Who are you, Leeds? You're no one compared to Arsenal. You're nobody. You can't just go to Emirates and start running up and down in the attack. Set up a 5-4-1 formation, 5-4-1 or 6-3-1. You go to the Emirates and you are doing 4-4-3-3 against Arsenal at the Emirates. Even Arsenal, they didn't play good, but obviously you expected that they are going to just completely destroy Leeds United. And Arsenal didn't play good in the game, to be fair. I watched the game and I wasn't impressed by the way they play. And that's why Eze is going to come in and change the way that they operate as a team. Eze is too good to play the way that they are playing. Eze is too good for that. He's going to improve the team, improve their style of play, and he's going to cause havoc in the final third against every opposition that he plays. All opposition will feel it when they face Eberechi Eze, especially if Ateta gives him that free role that I expect him to get when he gets started with Arsenal. So, yep, Saka injured, very sad. They are getting injuries now. Saka is injured, Odegaard is injured. So they've got young, good players in the likes of Nwaneri. He's a player that I really rate. Proper player, good player. They've got Eze and who's on the left side now that they still have. They have Leandro Trossard and who again is there? It's just Trossard that they've got. Okay, Madueke is the left winger for them too. So right now, the attack isn't looking too good now that Saka is injured. We need to know the length of the injury, and then it's going to be a big miss for us now because they want to be going for the title, and if they are going to be losing Saka for 2 months at least, it's going to impact their status in the league and what they will be doing in the Champions League too as well, because Eze will be playing midweek games now in the Champions League with the big boys. So you need to express yourself. But the pressure will be on you. You're the number 10. Everybody will be looking out for you. Eze. So the pressure that you had at Crystal Palace is going to be different from what you'll be having at Arsenal. And Arsenal think they have the best attack with Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres. Gyökeres, like, that can never be the case. You can't claim to have the best attack because you've got Eberechi, Eze, Saka, and Gyökeres. I struggle to pronounce the guy's name, man. Gyökeres, yeah. So um, they think they have the best attack, but that's not the case. England, if you think you have the best attack, that means the English team have the best attack in the world because they've got Harry Kane, they've got Eze, and they've got the same Saka as well. And Cole Palmer is there, so they can claim that they have the best attack in the world. But you can't say that because of the hype. They don't let the hype get to you that much. Sometimes just calm down, look at your attack, watch them in a couple of games, and then you can come up with the fact that, okay, yeah, with the way that they play and understanding that they've got, yes, we potentially have one of the best attack and not the best attack. Yeah. So that's it for Arsenal. Leeds, easy game. I predicted a fight. I thought Leeds, with the way that they play, they will keep to the way that they play and they will maybe get a goal, but that wasn't the case. They even couldn't score a goal. So Arsenal defense is too difficult to break. They have the best defense in the league, and that showed when they played Leeds United because Leeds couldn't score even as much as the way that they attack and stuff. They still couldn't penetrate. So yeah, good game for Arsenal. Good points. I think they are top of the table. Are they? Yeah, they are top of the table ahead of Spurs because they've got 6 goals and Spurs have just 5. Yeah, they won 2-0 in first game, 3-0. So a goal difference ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. Good one. 2 North London boys going top of the league after 2 games. Yeah, good to see. So next one, Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. Oh, yeah, like I said, 2 good teams, to be fair. Good managers they've got as well. Stable team, stable in the defense. They respect their oppositions, when they play. And you could see the result showed that, that they both respected each other, and you could see that in the game. I expected a goalless draw because of how strong their defense were, but at least they were able to penetrate each other in a couple of times, and it ended 1-1. So good game, good result, 1 point each for both Nottingham Forest and Crystal Palace, and they will keep going. They will keep getting better and better. Nottingham Forest have signed so many players, and however, there's tension in the squad with Nuno Espirito Santo not being in good terms with Marinakis, Mr. Marinakis. So tough one, tough one that they are having a clash between manager and owner in the start of the season. It's never the best. We experienced that between Tuchel and Boli when they came in, and then we had to lose Tuchel in the start of the season, and then we had to hire Graham Potter, who ran us down as a football club. But I hope that's not going to be the case for Nottingham Forest now that they are in Europe, especially. So we need to see them do well in Europe. In the Europa League represents England well. So yep, next on the list, and Crystal Palace losing Eberechi is you could see that it affected them in the way that they play. If Eberechi was in the game, maybe they would have gotten the 3 points. Devaney, I don't expect much from him. To be fair, I don't think they will find the right replacement for Easy. But Crystal Palace being Crystal Palace, they've done it over the years, and let's see. They have a good manager in Oliver Glasner. They will find a solution to this, but it will hurt them in the UEFA Conference League. It's going to hurt them if they can get someone in before the deadline. Yeah. So next on the list, Everton Leeds back playing in their new stadium. They started the league in Il Dickinson with 3 points, clean sheet, 2 goals against Brighton. Oh, Grealish had a fantastic game. David Moyes, I respect him. He knows how to make mid-table team look really, really good, and that's what he's going to do at Everton. Like I said, they are part of the team that I expect to be in the top 6 this season, but for some reason I placed Brighton ahead of them, and however, Brighton was the better side overall. This game should have been a draw. It's just that Everton have a good goalie in Pickford, and you could see that it showed. They missed the pen. Brighton missed the penalty, and they missed some goals that they should have scored. And Pickford was the decider. Grealish too had a very good impact in the team, ensuring that they get the 3 points too as well. So overall, good game from Everton. David Moyes is going to keep going. Il Dickinson Stadium starting with a win. I think they will want to carry on with that. So anybody going to that stadium, they should expect a tough game. They should expect a tough game. So 2-0 for Everton, good result for them, and very bad result for Brighton. Baleba got hooked in the first half. Uh, I don't understand why, no matter how bad he played, that's not the kind of player that you should hook during halftime, except he's injured. So all these young managers, sometimes they just make rash decisions. So yeah, I think that affected them to an extent, affected Brighton in, to get going, because Baleba is a player that helps to transition from defense to attack. Sometimes, most times, let's say, most times he does that. Yeah, because he is a good ball carrier, and they missed him in the second half, even though he wasn't really good in the first half. Sometimes the player can start badly and finish the game well. So you should have just kept him in the team at least to see for the first 15 minutes of the second half, and if it isn't working, then you can hook him, not hook him at halftime. That was too harsh. That was too strong. It was a strong decision. Osler, or whatever his name. That was a strong decision they made to hook Baleba in the halftime. So, yep, that's that for Brighton. I know they will still come good. They're a very good side, good team. They have the core. They have players that understand each other very well. So, yep, 2-0 for Everton. Good result for Everton. Bad result for Brighton. Next one, Fulham Man United, and that was the last game of yesterday. 1-1. United. I know. I've always known that you are going to struggle this season. From the appointment of Amorim last year, I've always been saying it. You have made a bad decision to bring in Amorim to your club, sacking Eric Ten Hag and bringing in Amorim, a manager that you did not even analyze very well before bringing him to the team. You saw him doing something great at Sporting Lisbon, and you thought he's going to replicate that in a much bigger team like United, a team that there's so much instability in the team, players being overpaid, and a team that is undergoing rebuild as big as a club as Manchester United. It is too big for someone of Amorim's profile. So that was a very rash decision that the United board made, and they are paying for it, and they will pay big for it, because they have lost a couple of players because of this manager. Garnacho not wanting to play for the club. Anthony is off. Rashford will most likely not play for United again, even when he's back from his loan. He'll find a way to get out of the team. And some other players, even Bruno, you might not see the best of Bruno anymore, because this season is going to completely destroy the player that he is. And now you've signed Umbomo. You want to destroy Umbomo too as well, with the way that he plays, with the way that he has set up his team. Sesko being on the bench, you can't sign a player for that amount of money, 70 million euros, and then he's not starting. He hasn't started in 2 games. You don't do that, especially when you don't have a striker. There's no Oilund, there's no Zegzi, and there's no Sesko. So why did you sign a striker if you know you don't want to play with a striker? It's just stupid decision, absurd ball. As expected, a rookie manager, a poor manager, a manager that is not good enough, that is just fortunate to be in Man U because of some story that some people have just cooked up over the years just to make it emotional, and they just went with their emotions and appointed Amorim. Like I said, they are going to pay for it, and I'm happy that they are going to pay for it. I was happy when they signed it. I was happy when they signed Sesko. I know these are players that are going to struggle. The only players that I knew Manchester United really had a good transfer window was bringing in Cunha and Umbomo. These are 2 fantastic players, but with Amorim, I never expected that Umbomo will be looking this bad, and he has stuck to the style of play that he has played since he came into Man U, pushing Ahmad to the wing back role and bringing in Umbomo to be one of the 10s behind the striker. And now he's not even playing the striker, he's now playing the false 9. Or let's say he's playing Umbomo and Cunha ahead, with Mount operating just behind them. Mason Mount, which Bruno would have done better with the way that he plays. Bruno needs to be closer to the goal because he's got the ability to shoot from close distance, even far distance. He can do it. Not to now talk of close distance. And now you've pushed Bruno to play in the pivot with an old Casemiro. I never expected that. I forgot Casemiro is still in Manchester United, but now he's played 2 games back to back. You've got the likes of Kobe Mino on the bench, and you can't have a young player with so much energy and you're leaving him on the bench. He's just killed that player. He's just killed Kobe Mino. I don't think Kobe Mino will be able to bounce back from this anymore. But I just hope that's not the case. But he's killed so many players in the team already, and I don't see United getting. United, anytime I predict that they will finish in a position in the start of the season, their fans argue with me that I don't know what I'm saying. And it turns out that they finish even lower than what I predicted. So I think I'm still looking at the United team as a huge team, and I'm still sort of raising the expectations just to match the name of the club and not even looking it from the perspective of what they can actually offer in terms of the squad that they've got and the manager that is managing the team. I think that's what I need to be looking at now, because how did I predict that Manchester United are going to finish 8th? And the way they've started, it looks like they will remain in the bottom half, even though they are playing 1 game a season. Is that bad? Is that bad? But let's see. I'll still keep them in the number 8 place, like I predicted. So next on the list, Fulham. Fulham, yeah, good team. I told you they kept the core of the team. They didn't sell any notable player. Neither they replaced the manager. The manager is still there. The squad is still there. They will build on from last season. So the Fulham will just be like the Burnley of old under Sean Dyche. And they'll keep doing what they are doing. Hurting clubs, getting results from one place to another, the big boys, once in a while, they get those results, and they are not, I won't say they are not a boogie team to the big clubs, but they are close to being that. They are close to being that, because sometimes we can just get a result. But I expected them to win this game, and they should have won the game, to be fair. The United goal wasn't supposed to be a goal, because that shove on Bassey, some people say it's not enough, but to me, a slight shove when somebody is trying to leap is enough to put them off. And this is a player that is trying to defend, and the player that even headed the ball was the player that shoved him. So that's like a no-brainer to have not been given as a goal. So I don't know why they stuck with their decision to count it as a goal when they gave United the penalty against Bassey for pulling Mason Mount in the box. So United were fortunate to come away with a point, but it is what it is. They are still where they are, 16th place. They are still around where they are. I think they were 18th at the start, but now 16th, which means that they've made progress. So United, you can see that as progress. You progress from 18th to 16th. To be making those steps to keep hammering. The next place you'll be 14th next match. You're playing Burnley. Definitely, you should win that match. You should win the game. If you don't win the game against Burnley, you are in big trouble this season. And I'm sure you cannot just sack Amorim 3 games into the season. So you need to lose like maybe 10 matches before you are going to sack Amorim. And you have just lost 1. So 9 to go. So 9 to go. Maybe by December you make that happen when you guys are still in, like, let's say 15th place, and come the end of the season, maybe you are going to finish 14 again. 14th United. I can't wait to see that come May next year. So yeah, and last game today is going to be Newcastle Liverpool. Hopefully, want to see a fantastic game here on a beautiful Monday. Bank holiday. We are enjoying the day. It's going to be the last holiday until December this year. So we are enjoying it as much as possible, and we are going to wrap it up with a new. I see that as a derby, to be fair. St. James Park, hosting Liverpool. Oh, it's going to be a cracking game, especially now with the controversy, the battle for Isak, and him being on the news. It's going to be like the focal point now. Newcastle and Liverpool battling for Isak. And let's see who's going to get Isak. If Isak is going to stay or Liverpool is going to sign him, we'll wait and see. And that's going to be that for today. I tried to keep this as short as possible, but it was impossible. Oh my days, 40 minutes. What? 40? I know when I talk about football, I can talk for hours, but I need to try to find a way to make my content shorter, because the shorter the better. The shorter the better. This is what it is, guys. I hope you get to watch this video up to this point. Make sure you finish this video, but you are not going to see this at the start, but I think I'm going to make it seen at the start by putting a text in and telling you guys, pleading with you guys to finish this video. Finish this video. Yeah. Please try to finish the video. And that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day or the rest of your night, depending on when I upload this video and depending on when you watch it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of the night. Have a good sleep. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Ciao. Bye. See you on the next one. Part 2, when I'll be talking about my fantasy team. Bye, guys. Love you all. And like we always say, follow, subscribe. Make sure you do turn on your notifications. And we might be pivoting to TikTok soon. So you guys need to stay tuned. What's the last thing? Get engaged in the comment section, man. You all need to get engaged. I'm not seeing any engagements yet. And in the last video I uploaded, there was no views. No views. What are you guys doing? You guys should keep me engaged or I'll stop. I can't stop. I'll keep going. I know you guys will enjoy it. All right. See you on the next one. Bye.